Hey everyone, it's Evangeline right here at eTrailer. Today we have the RockyMounts GigaWatt electric bike rack, and we're going to take a look at how it fits here on our 2024 Ford Bronco Sport. The GigaWatt has turned into one of my recommended bike racks because it has pretty much everything you can ask for. High weight capacity of 80 pounds, a really good wheelbase capacity of 55 inches, and compared to some of the other bike racks that don't really tilt down as far as I want them to, this one has a pretty decent tilt on it. So if you reach underneath the rack and you pull this knob here, you're then able to tilt this down. And on our Bronco Sport, we've noticed that the hatch is actually kind of large. So bringing this up, you can see how it clears our pedals and it clears our handlebars. Now, if you do have longer handlebars, you would have to double check to see if it works. But now we're able to get into our hatch, grab whatever we need. If you're the type of person that switches out their shoes, this is the perfect time to do so. Now, for reference, our handlebars are 25 inches long. So if yours are longer than that, you may have to scoot your bike on over when the door goes by, or consider rearranging your bike placement on the rack. Now when you bring this back up, it snaps into place, and now you are ready to drive. With the GigaWatt, I really like this design because you're able to ramp your bike up and into the bike rack. Now you do have some different straps that this bike or this rack uses to secure the bike. So a big question I get a lot actually is, what about fenders? Well, you can choose to use this fender strap. So if you bring your front wheel mount forward and right below where the fenders are, use that strap to secure it. Another strap you do need to use is the strap underneath the bike. Now I have it off right now to make it easier to take it off, but this is going to hold your bike rims down to that loop. And then you also need to loosen the strap in the back for the rear wheel. Press that lever, lift this up and out of the way, and this slides down to make it easier to ramp your bike down. And that's where you get your 55-inch wheelbase capacity. So before I continue on, let's actually talk about that ramp. This ramp is included, however, it's not attached to the bike rack, which is a downside, but I do like how I don't have to pay extra for this ramp, especially on the Bronco Sport. Because of the height of the vehicle, this is actually pretty helpful. So with that ramp in place, now I can press this button, lift this hook up, push that hook all the way down, and then ramp the bike down. So if you have a bike that's about 80 pounds, this right here is going to be very helpful. I'm going to put our bike off to the side so we can talk about different things like the cradles and the trays. You can see that loop over there for the cradle and how it's pretty wide. Well, that's because this can carry bike tires of up to 4.5 inches. So if you have a fat tire bike, this will still work with that too. We're just going to set this back up against the wall, and then we're going to bring our hook back in so that everything is nice and neat and we're not taking up as much space. So speaking of space, let's talk about that. If you measure from the bumper to the end of the bike rack, this sits at 35 inches. So slightly larger than some other platform racks we've worked with today, but still on the pretty normal side. And since you have a smaller vehicle, you do have a little bit more room to work with for those small garages or tight parking spots. The next measurement is going to be ground clearance. Now, I'm not too concerned about clearances like speed bumps or steep driveways and hills, but I am slightly concerned about how I have to lift the bikes up. So from the ground to the end of the rack, it's about 19 inches over here. And then to where the bike sits up over here, that's around 23 inches. So you can see how that ramp is helpful here on the Bronco Sport, because you don't want to be lifting your heavy bikes up 2 feet to get onto the bike rack. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to fold this up into the more compact position. just like that, snaps into place. If you needed to drive, you could totally do that. And here from the bumper to the end of the rack, this now sits at 14 inches. So big difference compared to when this was folded down. This is how you'll have it when you're just driving around town. You're not planning on taking your bikes out just yet. I always recommend people folding up their bike racks when possible, because not everyone is going to see it in the down position without bikes. But this up here will make it more visible for the people behind you, and it'll make it easier when driving around. But speaking of visibility, let's see what's visible here. Things like our taillights are visible, our window is visible, and here's the fun part. Because of the location of your license plate and backup camera, most platform racks cover it. But the location of your backup camera on this rack is right here in the opening. And that's a really good surprise, which means that most of the time you just have to give up on visuals and visibility when you're in reverse. Here you'll still be able to see if there's people or cars behind you. Not 100% visibility, but still better than nothing. But always use your mirrors just in case. With that being said, this is going to be a very strong, secure fit into your 2-inch hitch receiver. We installed this hitch here at eTrailer. If you don't have a hitch yet on your Bronco Sport, find one custom fit for your car. We also have a dealer network that you can utilize if you want someone else to install the hitch for you. And with that, we are then able to carry around this heavy-duty bike rack with its heavy-duty weight capacity. I don't really have any other recommendations. I think this fits really well on the Bronco Sport. Even the blue accents on the bike rack fit well with the blue color of the vehicle, but that's just extra aesthetic things. For functionality, it works great. Just make sure you don't forget the ramp when you hit the road. So today this was a look at the RockyMounts GigaWatt bike rack here on the 2024 Ford Bronco Sport.